Welcome, everybody. And Mike didn't get the memo that today was a holiday, so we have to do a show tonight. So, no, this was planned,
Yeah.
but we do have a holiday coming up in 2 weeks. Well, me with a holiday, so Mike is SOL.
Yeah.
But Mike is here again, and I'm here, and we're going to talk sports.
Yeah.
How about that? So got a lot to talk about here. Hope everybody's doing well out there wherever you are, and we'll get the show going here. We're actually going to talk NBA here. I'm not an NBA guy, but talk in general about the All-Star game and some of the comments Adam Silver had about tanking. That's why the theme for tonight's show is
Tanking, not allowed.
tanking's not allowed. And I have a solution to it, and it's not promotion or relegation. I told Mike what it was before.
Yeah, you did.
We have a new bowl game, and I purposely did not tell Mike what that bowl game is going to be because I want the organic reaction to what that bowl game is. Mets owner Steve Cohen says there's never going to be a captain of the Mets as long as I'm owner.
What the?
So we'll get into that. And I know you're going to say this when I mention the name, but you won't say it word for word, so I'll let somebody do it for you. Jerome Tang.
Who the fuck is that guy?
He got fired with cause today. I'll tell you what he did.
Oh, wait a minute. Coach, right?
What?
He's a coach, right?
Well, that's usually what you do in college basketball over the age of 21. I mean, you gotta tell these football kids now.
I'm looking forward to this one. Okay. Okay.
It's not. This isn't college football where you played college football for 9 years so you can get that NIL money. But
Yeah, we have comments on that one. Okay.
we'll have comments on that, and we'll sneak some things in along the way here as well. So I did something yesterday.
What did you do?
I kind of watched the All-Star game.
Whoa.
Now, granted, the volume was down because I was listening to music and streams and stuff like that. And don't you know, they actually played a little bit of interesting basketball. They showed some interest in the game,
Which is a good thing.
which is a shocker.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about the format, about the round robin or anything like that, but seems like maybe they actually got something right here for once.
Let's hope so.
Now, also, the games plural actually started at 5 p.m. local time here in Philly,
Okay.
or was it 6? 5.
Fine.
Not
11.
but I just think if you can get everybody to play in the All-Star game and actually play defense, maybe the All-Star game isn't completely dead.
That's true.
The slam dunk contest, yeah, but I didn't see any of that. But what did you think about the game? The games that
It was refreshing to actually see them want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, if you guys can stick with this this year and do this next year, I might just actually tune in and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did have some interest in the game because of Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, LeBron James was there. Because he mysteriously recovered from his arthritis in his foot to play in the game.
Yeah, miraculous.
But you know, but you know, they, and little did I know it was the two U.S. teams because you know it's still an American-based franchise. You had the Stars and you had the Stripes, and one was the young team, one was the old team.
Yep.
And apparently, with the finals, the young team beat the shit out of the old team.
Yep.
It's like, get back in your seat, Grandpa. But you know, I just think um, I just think with all this, you know, it is a change, and it's just unfortunate that you had um, a blowout in the final game.
Yeah.
But the first game, they did have a bit of that Elam ending that I told you about before the show,
Mm-hmm.
where I think the game ended I think the 12-minute period ended in a tie
I think.
because they said first team that gets 5 points advances
Right.
or wins the game or something like that.
Right.
So, you know, obviously you don't want to stretch them too long because, you know, God forbid they still have interest for 12 minutes in this world.
Right.
But, you know, I kind of enjoyed it, but I was also doing other things. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should have, but, you know. But, you know, a lot of the guys, you know, you're saying,
Who the fuck is that guy?
but, you know, but that's me because I don't watch basketball that much, but, you know, but I'll be watching in April, May,
Yeah.
and still saying,
Who the fuck is that guy?
but, and, you know, and when somebody makes a three and starts gallivanting around the court celebrating, I'll be like,
Oh, good for you.
Well, that's a good one.
so, you know, and hopefully, wait. I think that male cheerleader got caught cheating. I mean, the skater, cheerleader. The hell?
Cheerleader?
I think she found out that his breath smells like something.
I said, I'm sorry.
Nah, probably was his last skate. So. And
Okay.
and actually, this is tape delay, so.
Is it okay?
But it's prime time. But you know, just like you know, I have the TV in the dining room here, the one that I brought in from the bedroom. That's actually 20 years old. Now I was going to trash it as we go off on our first tangent of the night. I was going to trash it, but I brought it out, and don't you know, out of clear blue, it's not giving me the problems that it had for years.
That's weird.
Because the one thing I would have to do every time I go to turn it on,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to turn it back off, unplug, and reset because it would be blinking.
Gee. Yeah.
Like you'll get like you may get like a view of her one butt cheek,
Okay.
and then the screen will go black and it'll start blinking. But since I brought it out, it's not doing anything. It's just that it's not a smart TV, so I can't like flip it over to FS8 for whatever. But you know, but going back here, because I was using it yesterday for the basketball game, and you know, I was kind of interested in it, even though on previous shows I did say boycott it. Probably I might have said that because, and this may be the Sixers ownership group that did this. You remember in 1976 the All-Star games?
Vaguely.
Well, not the All-Star games themselves,
Mhm.
but where was the MLB All-Star game?
Oh, wait a minute. That was here, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where was the NBA All-Star game? Where was the NHL All-Star game? Why?
The bicentennial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're celebrating US 250,
Yeah.
but the game ended up in LA.
Yeah. Go figure.
Okay, they got a cute arena, you know, the Intuit Dome. into it, out of it, whatever. But that should have been in Philly.
It should have been.
But did the ownership group say we don't want it?
They might have said that too.
I mean, there ain't shit going on down in the complex right now because NHL's on their Olympic break.
Yep.
The NFL is over.
Yep.
Phillies are in Florida.
Yep.
And I doubt there are many concerts going on right now. But this is the perfect time to do it. But and the Sixers were on the road for a week or two, so you could, like for example, with the Phillies when the All-Star game comes around,
Mm-hmm.
like for like a week before the All-Star game, they actually forced the team that's hosting the All-Star game on the road.
Oh, okay.
So, like for example, the Saturday and Sunday they have the some of the the rookie stuff, like the rookie prospect game or
Right.
other thing like
Right.
that, the celebrity softball game, and but I was surprised with the game. It was worth watching for once.
For once.
Even though I didn't give a shit who won or lost, but
Well,
now I think this is what they had planned last year,
mm-hmm.
but it was more fluid this year because part of it was TNT. Because TNT, it was their last year, and they didn't know whether the Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Shaq, and Barkley their show would be
Right.
end up on ESPN.
Right.
But it just seemed like that they were dragging it way too long. I mean, after the first time out, you had a 20-minute delay because let's give them all fishing poles because they're all going into retirement possibly. But more than anything else, it did flow well.
Yeah, it did.
And apparently, I don't know if they were across the parking lot at the Fabulous Forum, which is still there. I think it's now the Kia Forum.
Something like that. I'm not sure what it was.
But I did see that, and like I said, the volume was down, so I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I was like, wait a second, they're actually playing defense? Wait, it's a close game? But I just think that, I mean, it looked like that they had another court that they can warm up on and keep themselves warm because, one of the teams would have to sit because, you only have 3 teams.
Right.
So, but it seems like it worked. I think this was the intention last year, even though it failed because of everything with TNT and all that. But it seemed like it was a lot of good play and all that stuff.
Well, like you said, they actually played like they cared.
Yeah.
And made it entertaining. And then I'll throw this question out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Did the NBA ever talk to the NHL and say, what did you guys do to make your All-Star game a little bit, better because we need some help?
Yeah.
Because the NBA All-Star game has been doing this for years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Now, I don't know if you venture into the 48-minute game, U.S. versus the world. But you may not have enough world players because like the 7, 8, 9, 10, or the 9, 10, 11, 12 players are going to be a bunch of...
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's true.
Like you need to get Boban out of retirement, because apparently he's doing this thing, Boban, where he's actually sitting in student sections for college games.
Is he?
He was at Villanova a week or 2 ago. He was at UConn. I don't know what he's doing, but one of the ugliest people on the face of the earth. But he is a cool dude because the one thing he did do, how the Sixers have bricking for chicken?
Yeah.
Well, wherever this game was when he was with Houston, He goes to the crowd. I'll help you. I'll help you out. And he purposely bricks a free throw so they get their
I
chicken.
remember that. That made me like him all the more. I remember that.
Now, was this after sportsbook gambling was? I'm starting trouble. Because Emmanuel Classe has that federal lawsuit against him,
Okay.
which could mean that he's going to be out of baseball altogether. But just a little thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like a little nugget. I like that.
So, since it was the All-Star weekend, Adam Silver had his press conference on Saturday. He said that tanking has been worse this year than we've seen in recent memory. Now, I wish I watched basketball a little bit more, but I mean, let me just look at the standings here. Like, for example, the Indiana Pacers, who we thought maybe they sneak in, like maybe as a 10 this year, despite Halliburton being gone for the year because of the unfortunate timing of his Achilles injury in Game 7 of the finals.
Right.
They're 15-40.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz 18-38. They're the two teams that he cites in this article and in his press conference on Saturday. He said he's considering every possible remedy, including taking away draft picks to stop this type of overt behaviors. But he also fined Utah and Indiana in the past week.
Well, wait a minute now. Indiana is missing Halliburton, who was the heartbeat of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes the way Indiana went. I don't know if I was considering him tanking.
But, I haven't seen every game, so I can't speak for that.
Right.
Where's SJ in here? But she's probably too busy watching Unrivaled. But seriously, when you see this, there's probably some things like, oh, well, we're not going to let you play because, we're load managing you. Well, load managing back in the day was, you got a back injury. No, I don't. No,
Yeah.
You got a back injury.
Yep.
They actually made it into an injury as opposed to just load management.
Yeah, that's true.
But, so before Saturday's All-Star events, he said, in the old days, it was just sort of an understanding among partners in terms of behavior. I think what we're seeing is modern analytics where it's so clear that the incentives are misaligned. Are we seeing behavior that is worse this year than we've seen in recent memory? Yes, is my view. Yet, my view being Adam Silver.
Right.
Which was led to those fines, and not just those fines, but to my statement that we're going to be looking more closely at the totality of the circumstances this season in terms of in terms of teams' behavior, and very intentionally wanted teams to be on notice.
I agree with him. It should be on notice.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was too much last year. It was ridiculous the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with him.
And this is why I said, and we're going to compare baseball's lottery, which, the way baseball's lottery is, it takes, in most cases, a prospect 2, 3, 4 years to get to the majors, even though you have a Paul Skeens that spends like half a year in the minors. You get some players, like, for example, Pete Incaviglia.
Icky.
He went right from draft pick to Major League Baseball.
Oh, wow. Okay, Pete.
And there's only a few people that have done that.
Right.
So, no two players are the same. Sometimes you get a steal in the 4th round that, it's like, well, we got to bring him up. There's nothing we can do. He's destroying single A, destroying double A, destroying triple A. You got to bring him up.
That's true.
And triple A is the perfect test because that's basically a bunch of major league players that you stash there because, it's we couldn't get a major league contract, but if you stay there and if you want to continue to play, like for example, Garrett Stubbs, even though he had an option year left last year, he was actually in a way, a player coach for that team.
Yeah.
I've shared a couple of videos he had over the course of the year last year. So, but I just think Scott Boras, if he wants to contact me, I have the solution to stop tanking in baseball. Even, it's called promotion relegation, but but the only thing is, with all the different levels, you can have a 5-level setup, or maybe even 6 if you include the independent leagues. But I acknowledge it's probably never going to happen because we're so ingrained into the farm system model that we can't have that. And you can't have it in basketball because you only have the G League.
That's true.
So you can't do anything like that. I think even though you've tinkered with the merit portion of the draft picks, where it's like, oh yeah, well, picks 1, 2, and 3, you have a 14% chance, whatever the numbers are. And it is working because the last couple of years, it's like the 8th worst team, the 9th worst team won the lottery.
Right.
I just think we need to get off of the merit basis of it, because that will stop tanking, in my opinion. I don't know what you think.
That could. That should.
And I think what we do, and I've shared this a few times over the years, blogging or whatever, and if you're watching even after the fact, and the one thing I will say is I need to check up on those on the YouTube videos that end up on Bleacher Brothers, because if somebody has a comment, feel free to comment. I'll try to remember to go back and look. If you've commented on past videos, oops, sorry, I forgot to check. But I think what you do is you base it on not making the playoffs, and that's it. So, and what I would do is, I don't know what the average career is in the NBA. I think what you do is you go 5 years.
Okay.
This upcoming season,
Right.
you have the teams that don't make the playoffs. And, if you want to make it even more incentive-based with this this system that I'm suggesting, those teams that make the playing games, they're considered playoffs. They don't get these chances because you're playing an 83rd and possibly an 84th game, even though you may be playing an 84th and 85th because you may have played in the final game of the NBA Cup.
Go on. Okay. I'm intrigued. Okay.
So what I say is, teams that don't make the playoffs this year,
right,
would get 5 balls.
Right.
The teams that didn't make it last year get 4.
Okay.
The previous year 3, then 2, then 1.
I can see that. Okay.
So the only problem is you're going to have teams that are going to be consistently bad.
Yeah.
Now, here's the twist, and this is like I told you before. I was mentioning the NHL draft lottery where Sissy Crosby ended up with Pittsburgh, which probably was a fix, because at that time Pittsburgh was thinking about moving to Kansas City. They had every team in the lottery because of the fact that they had no season the season before. What I'm suggesting, and I know what you're going to say, I know what people will say in general, and I had that solved as well.
Okay.
Every team gets 1 ball. So if you did not make the playoffs for 5 straight years, that's 5 plus 4, which is 9, 3 is 12, 2 is 14, 1 is 15. That added ball is 16. If you make the playoffs all 5 years, you get one shot.
I can see that.
But if you win an NBA championship, we remove a ball from your total. So let's say, and I think OKC is probably the best case here. So they haven't been in the playoffs each of the last 5 years, I don't think. So let's just say the year 5 and year 4 were the 2 years that they didn't make the playoffs. So they would have 3 plus 1, which is 4.
Right.
Take away a ball because they won the championship last year.
Right.
They would have 3 chances out of however many it works out to be.
That's not bad.
Because I think the problem is you have this merit system where, well, if we lose and we lose the most games, we'll get the most balls. Actually, they don't use balls; they use combinations because it's like 1, 2. They have 14 balls, 1 through 14.
Right.
I think what you do is you go to this merit system. You get away from this merit system because if you do that, you don't have that tanking in place.
That makes a good point, because if you made the playoffs the previous year and then you decide this year, you're going to tank, no, you can't be rewarded for tanking. I can kind of see that working.
Now, the thing is, Indiana, I think they've been in the playoffs the last 4 years.
Right.
So it isn't like they're getting a full complement of 16 balls.
Right.
They would have 1 for not winning a championship the last 5 years. And then they would get 5 this year. So they would still have a good chance, but nobody would have more than like a 5% chance at that, whatever all the numbers were. I've worked out the numbers in the past, I mean, I think it's like 280 chances overall.
So Washington Wizards probably had the most balls in it because they haven't been.
Washington would probably be a full 16.
Yeah, because they haven't been in playoffs in what, 20 years or something like that?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
I think they were the Baltimore Bullets when they were last in the playoffs. But,
right?
Like, for example, the way the system should work. For example, the 9-73 Sixers.
Yeah.
Why were they 9-73? Because they were dog shit. It wasn't because they were tanking.
They were just a bad team.
That's what we need to get to. Not in terms of 9-73, but the teams that have the worst records are teams that have the worst talent, because that's what the draft is supposed to be.
It is.
An opportunity to get the best player, and if it doesn't work out, I mean, we've seen it so many times in the NBA. I mean, how many times in the NBA before they changed the draft rules where you had to be out of college a year or 19 years old? 19 and a year, I think it is. How many years did we see a high school player come out and showed he totally wasn't ready?
Oh, too many times.
I mean, for every Kobe Bryant, there was 15 kids. Well, I'll throw Kevin Garnett in with Kobe Bryant because he was a high school kid.
Yeah, he was. He was a female.
How many times did we see somebody who went out of high school, didn't do jack in the NBA, and was out of the league in 3 years?
A lot. You can't do it. Like I said, it was a rarity for Garnett and for Kobe and for Moses Malone did it, and LeBron James.
Yeah.
But that's 4 players out of how many players over the years that did this? That's a rarity. Yeah. You can't do that.
Exactly. That's and the thing is, the merit system has to go.
Yeah.
Now, if you're consistently bad, this will benefit you.
That's true.
But what you hope is, even if you are consistently bad, maybe even you get lucky, and even if you just keep it to 11 to 15 in conference and only have 10 teams getting into the playoffs, 10 teams getting these balls.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have that on here? Wait a second. Yeah, I did. Now, you may be getting these balls.
You said balls.
I had to do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I mean, I think the goal would be if this system would work. And here's the thing: because it's just something that some hack podcaster is coming up with, could it work to a point where nobody really gets to that 16 ball threshold? And we get that, and we get the playoffs where, oh, by the way, the Washington Wizards made the playoffs for the first time since the Baltimore Bullets in 1972. And I'm making stuff up here, people, so play along with me, okay?
Right.
I know Washington didn't make the playoffs one year. I don't remember when. Mike doesn't remember when.
I don't remember.
And I had to pull up the Bleacher Brothers page.
Somebody. Oh.
And let me do this. So, I mean, that's one thing is you got to take away the merit that's involved.
Yeah.
If you do that, problem solved in my opinion. But the problem is you also change formats and you have the play-in games, which are technically playoff games.
They are.
Because they're the same as the one-game playoffs in baseball.
Yep. And the one-game playoffs in football.
Mm-hmm. Well, football's different because you can't really have a 7-game series.
Yeah, well, that's true too. That's true.
But so I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Will it happen? No. And we can blame Sam Hinkie for this because he had this thing called the process.
Oh. Don't remind me. Please don't.
And I will say it. And if you're a bandwagon OKC fan, you can chime in and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. OKC just processed a little bit better, and they got the title that Sam Hinkie never got.
Yeah.
They were smarter at it. They were better at it.
Much better.
Mm-hmm. But part of the reason why hockey's better is, other than the fact that we get a couple of weeks off so that they can beat the shit out of each other in the Olympics.
Right.
You rarely hear about tanking in hockey.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And they'll play back-to-back games.
Yep.
Hell, when you get to the playoffs, you get to the end of the season when your team's eliminated, you find out so-and-so is playing with a broken leg, and this person had a torn ACL, and but why are you out? Oh, hang nail. LeBron James, I got the page 2 of my book. Stuff like that. So
well, I do have to give was it Josh Allen said at the end he was playing with a broken
broken ankle in week 16, the week before the Eagles game he broke it.
Yeah. But he didn't, like you said, he didn't play. He kept on playing.
He knew that if his backup was playing, he knew they were fucked. And he knew that this was his best chance to get to a Super Bowl.
Right, that's true.
Because next year's going to be crazy in the AFC. You got 11 teams, I think.
Yeah. But we like us. Yeah.
So the one thing Adam Silver said to begin his news conference over the weekend, he said he recently talked to 97-year-old Bob Cousy. Now, first of all, who knew he was still alive?
That's true.
Kind of like how when Robert Duvall died today. It's Robert Duvall, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, Robert
No,
Duvall.
I'm just making sure I get the first name right.
Oh, yeah, Robert.
Even though I'm going to say this. He passes away today, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that said, wait, he was still alive? But, 95, full life, and then some, and all that, So Bob Coos, and they both have remarked how far the game has gone since 1950. That frames Silver's line that might be time to rethink how the NBA runs its draft, just as the league continues to experiment with the All-Star game format. Maybe I need to email the commissioner.
You might have to.
Or if you have connections with Shrek, we'll edit that out if we need to. But he does kind of look like Shrek. Another bald guy who can fit in with the Tennessee coaching staff because Tennessee's all bald.
Right.
Maybe my idea will work. Who knows? Some hack podcaster came up with this idea, and what do you think? I mean, the teams that are perpetually getting into the playoffs, we get one chance. We ain't gonna win, but fuck it, it's kind of like the Miracle on Ice speech.
Kirk Russell, right?
Yeah. We may play them. If we play them 10 times, they may win 9, or something to that effect.
Oh, wait a minute. They repeated that speech in that movie Little Giants. Remember Ellen Neal?
Something like that.
Yeah. We'll play them 100 times, but you beat them one time. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, saw that movie too. Too many sports movies in my head.
One time.
That's what they kept on saying. Yep, one time.
And then the trick to no, put your glue. So the one thing Adam Silver also says, it's part of my job to remind everybody I understand what your short-term interest may be. We better not lose sight for our fans. We better not lose sight of the people who support the league day in and day out. There was also an update on expansion.
Oh?
Now, I watched a video on YouTube, and there's this guy, Brody Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, between all the Twitch watching I've been watching with Out of the Park Baseball and all that, I haven't really watched his videos too much lately.
Mm-hmm.
Brody Brazil is really good with some of the stuff that he comes up with.
Okay.
And he said that maybe they don't want to expand because they want to create this league in Europe that's going to challenge like some of the leagues there or something like that. But apparently, maybe that was a smoke screen. Maybe it's not. But excuse me. He did provide an update on the NBA's plans for expansion, noting that he expected the Board of Governors to discuss the issue at its next meeting in March, and then start reaching out to potential expansion cities and owners to gauge interest. He noted the league was not considering a relocation of any of its current franchises. So, I don't even know who's in trouble of moving, but I mean, we know who's in trouble of moving in baseball, but yeah. But I think I know where they're going to go. I think they go to Seattle.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Vegas.
Yeah.
Now Vegas wants their own. I mean, Vegas, the way that they build buildings on, they'll probably have their own arena, and but you could conceivably play at the T-Mobile Arena as well.
Possible.
Because they have the Pac-12. They had the Pac-12 tournament there. They have a couple of tournaments there a week. So, but that is something that stuff that came up over the weekend, the NBA, and I kind of keep track of things, but I don't watch the games that much, but I catch the news every now and then. So, and that's going to lead us to our next point. Now, there's a new bowl game coming up, and I'm gonna let this guy tell it for me.
Okay.
because I think it's important that we had the proper intro, even though we may, even though the viewers may not hear the sound. So this may end up being just for you and me, but us learning on the curve. But this is from Modix HD on Instagram.
Okay.
Here we go. Whoops. There we go. No, I gotta unmute that. Here we go.
This might be the greatest college football rivalry of all time. With Sacramento State officially joining the MAC Conference, they'll have to play Ball State every year, bringing us the new annual Ball Sack Bowl. This might be the greatest college football rivalry of all time. With Sacramento State officially joining the MAC Conference, they'll have to play Ball State every year, bringing us the new annual Ball Sack Bowl. This might
Whoops.
Oh. Oh.
And unfortunately, it took up the whole screen and didn't push you to the side.
Right.
But now you know why I didn't want to tell you about this new bowl game.
I see why. Oh, yeah, that would be it. Yeah. Oh, gee.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
That's funny.
we have the Ball Sack Bowl every year now, apparently. Let me just check one thing here. Because I think they did play a year or two ago.
Did they?
Let me check the schedule here over the last couple of years. 25, 24. I'm pretty sure they played like all right, I've gone back to 2020. I'll go a couple more years here. Does not look like they played each other. I thought they did.
Okay.
Maybe they played in basketball. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the Ball Sack Bowl.
Wow.
Sacramento State and Ball State, because Sacramento State is a football-only member for the MAC Conference.
That is wow.
Now, I did see one. You know what? And I know this is great podcasting. Thankfully, we won't have anybody watching this and saying, you know, you shouldn't have stalled like that. Oh, I know it. Oh, I actually saved it. That's right.
Okay.
Hold on. So, or did I? No, I didn't. Shit. All right, let me try X here.
Okay.
Question here before I try one last search for this.
Okay.
Why shouldn't you trust trees?
Trust trees?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you trust trees?
They seem shady. All right, so I didn't save it, and there was a comment from the MAC conference. And it's going to be a 5-year deal, from what I understand.
Right.
I'm not going to find it.
Okay.
I saw it on Facebook, and I changed I changed the tab that it was on, or closed the tab or whatever. So let me just check one thing. That's not going to be it. No. Okay. So yes, I deleted it.
Okay.
So let me give myself one of those. So there was something in there where it says it's a 5-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether it means they get to renew or whatever, but they're going to formally join. The MAC presidents voted to formally add Sacramento State into the league as a football-only member starting next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, everybody's right around the Great Lakes except for Buffalo and UMass. And the thing is, like UMass, I even said having to go to Illinois with the ship program that they have, that's a bear to them, But now you're going to have possibly Buffalo or UMass, who's the two easternmost schools, maybe have to go with a cross-country flight to Sacramento. But
That's a lot.
But it's going to cost them. The entrance fee is expected to be $18 million, and they have to pay the NCAA $5 million more to move up to FBS.
Jeez.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, even though it's basketball and not football, I believe Shaq is a general manager for Sacramento State.
Really?
Now, granted, that's basketball, but
Right.
Maybe it's a little influence here. Hey, you can.
You never know.
But they've been trying to get into FBS for a couple of years. Now, first of all, it's a significant move for Sacramento State because it'll be the first West Coast football program to make a jump to the highest level of college football in well over a generation. So, now, with this move, now the MAC could have just stayed at 12 teams.
Right.
Because Northern Illinois is going to the Mountain West. And they got almost the same situation that Sacramento State has, even though now you have North Dakota State, so you have that one potential game that you could be not too much of a bear of a travel.
Right.
So they're basically replacing, Sacramento State's basically replacing Northern Illinois, who's going to the Mountain West for football only. It also marks a trend of schools paying money to move up in leagues.
Yeah.
SMU paved the way, foregoing 9 years of television revenue to join the ACC.
Okay.
But, they got NIL money out the wazoo. Cal and Stanford also accepted reduced money to join the ACC. And this is the money, the TV revenues that they're talking about.
Right.
So, and it's the second move in the last week, as I covered last week. North Dakota State finally is to move to the Mountain West. It's going to cost them $12.5 million.
Yeah.
Now, on a smaller scale, Northern Illinois only paid $2 million to join the Mountain West.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, the leagues payouts to leagues such as the MAC and Mountain West come at a time when revenue is scarce. The smaller leagues have struggled to regain top talent in football and men's basketball since the waiving of transfer rules and the ability of schools to pay players throughout NIL and revenue sharing. But Sacramento State has had wins in the FCS playoffs in 22 and 23, but they're going on their fourth coach since 2022.
Jeez.
But they were denied a waiver last year to play as an independent in need of a conference invitation. The school found one for 26. Now, they're not eligible for the postseason for the 2 years that it transitions. But if you remember, Delaware in their first year got to play a bowl game.
Yeah, they did.
So they can be backfilled into a bowl game, just like North Dakota State.
Okay.
Because if you don't have enough teams,
Yeah.
you can backfill them in. But they already got a bowl game. They got the Ball Sack Bowl.
What else do they need?
Yeah. So one of the topics I had, and I talked to AJ for over half an hour. We're talking a whole bunch of different things. He was
Mhm.
like, well, because one of the things he said, like, I think it was more towards also eligible because there's certain things that are coming down the pike with that.
Right.
Just be careful with what you say, that sort of thing. Don't worry about me. So, so I was talking to him yesterday. I said, I need your clearance on this. Because, I like to slide in those one-liners I got
Right.
there and, slide in that as well. I said, well, can I make this joke of Sacramento State going to the MAC? They have a school in the MAC called Ball State, also known as David Larimer University, but I didn't say that part.
Yeah.
Can I make the joke that they're going to be playing in the ball sack? Well, he goes, go right ahead. It's 8 or 9 o'clock and blah, blah, blah. And
Well, thank you, AJ.
so, but, I try to keep things as professional as possible. On this show, because it is after 9 o'clock in most cases, I will drop an F-bomb every now and then. But, we're not FCC regulated either. And, who the hell would want to sponsor the show anyway?
We're working on it.
Yeah, I know. But, and since we mentioned horse racing and all that,
It's time. There you go.
Also eligible will be live on Saturday, 10 a.m. And we're only doing one show this week, damn it. I felt the effects of it even today of doing 2 shows.
Okay.
Because I think I went to bed around 2.
Mm-hmm.
Might have even been before. No, I had to play my games before I went to bed because I had this routine where, like, for example, I have BetMGM. I have DraftKings Casino. I have Fanatics Sportsbook, which is also the casino. And I try to play them and get those free game, try to get a free game here or there,
Right.
just something to try to build for whatever. But so I was catching up on my Monopoly game as well. And then I just crashed on the couch. So it might have been close to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So the one thing I do every morning, because I don't feel like grabbing my phone because, I throw it on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason why I do that is it's just training from when I was working that, I actually have to squirm towards the front, the side, whatever,
Right.
and actually have to turn the alarm off.
Okay.
So since I knew it was early, I said, hey, Google, what time is it?
Right.
Oh, it's 6 something. Okay, went back to sleep. Second time, I woke up. It was like 10 o'clock. I actually checked it on my phone this time.
Okay.
And I rolled over, and next thing I know, it was 11:58.
Time flies.
Yep. So, and if you ever look at my phone and you see the phones on there,
Mm-hmm.
I have 6 alarms on there. On Saturdays, my first alarm goes off at 7 a.m.,
Right.
7, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45. Those are my regular alarms.
Okay.
And then I have the get up or else alarms
Right. Gotta have that one.
because I did have one day when I was on loan where I actually woke up late.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I think I can say this. I told my computer trouble.
Okay.
It was only like 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't like it was an hour and a half where, but, I told whoever the manager was on duty, I'm just logging in. I had a computer problem. Okay. Email so-and-so because they have a different scheduling system than what our old department had. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah. So I have 6 alarms here and the last 2 are like, whack, 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 whack. Almost like the fire alarm that we have here that goes off from time to time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that loud, but
Right.
enough
That
to
is
get your
loud.
attention. But so Friday night and Saturday, I didn't go to bed till like 3 o'clock, and the first alarm goes off at 7. So then yesterday, one of the reasons why I scheduled till 11 o'clock, I figured, all right, well, maybe I get an extra hour of sleep, which I did, but then today I caught up on the sleep. So
One show Saturday.
just one show.
Okay.
So we're going to look at Turfway Park, not Turdway, Turfway,
I was wondering about that.
which is right outside of Cincinnati
Okay.
on the Kentucky side, right by the Cincinnati airport, which is in Kentucky,
Okay.
not Ohio.
Hmm.
I've actually flown through there once. But we'll be looking at Turfway Park, and I might add something there as well. It's just we'll see what happens. But they have a Kentucky Derby prep race there, so that's the reason why we're going to do it.
Gotcha.
Now, the Kentucky Oaks prep race is on Friday. No, I'm not doing a show on Friday, but so that'll be Saturday 10 o'clock on most of these same platforms as we get deeper into the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky prep season.
Yeah.
Whoops, wrong one. Wrong slide. There we go. So I realized something, and we might as well let the cat out of the bag as well. Next week, there will be a show on Monday night, the 23rd.
Okay.
The 23rd.
23rd.
But not the 33rd. Because there is no 33rd of the month.
No, it's not.
But, I'd like to ask Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, where did you finish in this tournament? Oh, I finished 33rd. Even though he'll Americanize it because he'll know what I'm looking for.
Right. Ready?
But so the following week, there'll be no show next Monday, or that Monday, March the 1st. March 1st.
What was that? March 2nd.
Yeah, it's March 2nd.
You don't know the reason I know that.
Why?
Because of next month.
It's the same as this month.
No, the 17th.
Oh.
That's the only reason I know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because you know that tomorrow's the 17th and it's on a Tuesday. And when you have a 28-day month,
yeah,
the number of the month repeats in March.
And that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know what happened the last time we had Friday the 13th in February and March?
No.
The entire country shut down due to COVID.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
2020. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And for those that are triskaidekaphobic, this is not your year because we had the maximum 3 Friday the 13th this year.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, but there will be no show on Monday the 2nd. There may be a show on the 3rd. It may be one of those unplanned shows. I'm like, hey, I'm back. I'm out. Goodbye. I may do a show on the 2nd, on the 3rd, the 3rd, the 3rd day, the 3rd month.
The 3rd month, yes.
Because your boy's going to Vegas. Because I need to get out there because I need to get away from Philly. So there isn't also eligible on Saturday, the 28th. I fly out the 28th.
Whoa.
It's because the flight doesn't leave till 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which I thought I had like a 3 o'clock flight, a 2 or 3 o'clock flight, because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, so I'm looking at the college basketball schedule.
Right.
Hey, I can go to the UNLV game that Saturday night. Because I usually doze off while listening to music or podcasts when I'm like, yeah, I can go to UNLV game.
Right.
Then it dawned on me. I'll be landing in Vegas at 8 o'clock. Not 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. When you look at ESPN right now, at least on my computer,
Right.
until I get out there, it's a 10 o'clock start, I believe,
Oh, okay.
which is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
and from what I've been seeing from watching a couple of those UNLV games,
Mm-hmm.
and part of the reason why is, when SJ and I are talking all this, it's like, why are you always picking UNLV? Do you have something for UNLV?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I got something for UNLV. It's called being the last fucking game of the night. Oh, there you go, picking UNLV on Friday Night Football. Why is that? Because the game started at 10:30.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being in the sports book and watching Hawaii football at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Well, which would be 11 o'clock Vegas time.
Right.
But so I'm taking a couple of days off. Now my horse racing articles will probably still be posted because I gotta boost the ego and all that. So, but the pages will be up soon. Pages plural, because that's part of the stuff that I don't want to release yet. But
Okay.
I kind of gave a little preview. So 28th, there will be an also eligible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still deciding about the also eligible on the 1st.
Okay.
Now, it would probably be 11 o'clock Eastern, which would mean 8 o'clock in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Because I usually try to be on Eastern time zone.
Okay.
But the problem is the internet.
Ah.
So I may tinker with things. So you may get a show, even if it's just my Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
twitch.tv/JoeQuills, by the way. And you should be following me there because, at the very least, you can get the alerts and then all that other stuff.
Right.
Maybe you get an hour show where I'm just goofing off and doing nothing, and it's a tape show, and it's just something I can do because maybe I can do it as a tape show, present it, and go on our merry way.
You could.
It'd be like me posting on X, something about something going on in Vegas. Be like, wait a second, why are you posting this shit when you got the show? Oh, that's just a tape.
We did that last year, didn't we?
What that?
We did that last year.
What?
Podcast after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that was a live show.
Yeah, we sure did for a little while. Yeah, that was fun too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
But we didn't have this. Well, we did have this up. I was just like, fuck, what are you doing too soon?
Great.
But, so just give me an idea of the schedule the next couple of weeks as we
Okay.
get further along here. So
He said the
Now-
next Monday show, Monday after next, no show. Tuesday maybe show. But if I go get him from Vegas, then we'll have a show on the 2nd. Got it. Okay.
and he might actually be part of the show on Tuesday, which, I might as well. I shouldn't have done this.
What you do?
Vegas is not a good word to search on Microsoft Outlook,
Gotcha.
especially when I have Caesars, FanDuel,
right?
Harrah's, Tropicana.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good. No, that's not a good word.
How about airlines? And it's time for a change of scenery. Fuck yeah. Thanks for booking. Here's your trip details. This is what I want.
Okay. Is that FlightAware?
What?
FlightAware?
Well, this is the American Airlines.
Oh, okay, got you.
Trip confirmation. That's what I want to send you. You just need the second part, the leg home.
Okay, yeah.
But I need your email here because I don't use my email for I got too many windows open, so I was playing the out of park baseball today. Because I'm trying to set up the promotion relegation stuff.
Okay.
And I'm only at 1937, and that's where shit gets crazy on there.
Right.
Because you have like 40 minor leagues before World War II hits. All right, you got email.
Okay.
So what I would tell you is, well, I can show you afterwards.
Okay.
But the one thing I would say is the one thing I do, I don't necessarily, and we're going on a tangent. Well, we're done promoting that, but we're just letting you into our personal lives a little bit, but not too much. One way you can find that email that you need, especially with Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there's a website that you can go to where you can get all the Epstein file information in a Gmail format.
Oh no!
I haven't been there, but I follow this Facebook account, Maddie McTech, and that does post that stuff. It's a little thing that they did, but and we're not talking politics. We're not talking anything like that. And
Nope.
like I told AJ in text the other day, I'm the least political guy in your group, in our group, not his group, our group.
Right.
But you get the idea. So, and that person that was here said, Epstein files. Oh my god! Oh my god! We're not talking about it. Fuck.
No, we're not. No, we are not.
But it is. So.
Yeah.
So, one thing I will say, I don't know if this is something that trended from hockey years ago or anything like that, but the Yankees do it, but it's more, I don't think that they put the C on the chest or sleeve or anything, but Aaron Judge is the captain of the Yankees, and rightfully so.
Right.
The last one before him was Derek Jeter.
That's true.
And all the lovely ladies out there got lovely parting gifts when he won a little side action. But I don't know how this came about in baseball. And truthfully, I don't think you necessarily need it. I think you know who the leaders on a particular team are. Like, for example, you said when you were listening to radio on the way up here, Kyle Schwarber and JT Realmuto are the two leaders on the team.
Exactly.
And I'll even throw Bryce Harper in there, even though he's being a little bit of a whiny bitch this year. Because, the one thing, and we're going to get to the point about what I'm getting at with the captaincies and stuff like that. Bryce Harper, Dave Dombrowski, in a way, was trying to motivate.
Yeah, in a way.
But also was maybe laying the foundation to trade potentially Bryce Harper, because he has that no trade clause.
Yeah, he does.
And even if he didn't have that no trade clause, he's 10-5 anyway. So it's like double.
Because he could veto any trade.
So, and all a no trade clause is, tell me where you got the deal with. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, Pardon the Interruption today suggested well, maybe Dave Dombrowski's going to try to trade him before the season starts. I don't think he'd do that, but I understand what Dave Dombrowski is doing by calling him not elite. It's to motivate him, but also maybe there's an ulterior motive of maybe I want to get $25 million off the payroll.
Wow.
But I think the former, not the latter.
Yeah.
But
I think it's motivation.
But the one thing is the Phillies don't have a true captain, but they do have they do have the leadership in place. You have JT who runs the pitching staffs, obviously very well. Kyle Schwarber is the general clubhouse leader.
Yeah.
I guess we can call Bryce Harper the figurehead in a way.
In a way.
And of course, people will say, "Oh, that's what you're saying about Bryce Harper's wrong." I'm not. I mean, this isn't about Bryce Harper. It's just that it came up because we're saying different things.
Yeah.
But Steve Cohen, and I know what you're thinking.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
He's the owner of the New York Mets.
The Mets. Yeah.
He said the Mets aren't going to have aren't going to name a team captain anytime soon. He said he will never name a captain as long as he's in charge. Cease in speculation the franchise will one day grant Francisco Lindor the title.
That makes no sense.
Now, here's the thing. It isn't like, there is no, other than being the leader in the locker room, there is no special privilege
True.
with it in baseball as opposed to hockey, besides wearing that cool C on your uniform.
Right.
If there's a discussion between the referee and the captains, in hockey, they're basically a conduit of the coaches.
That's true.
And they're also the leader of the team.
That's true.
So you do have that, but baseball, you could have a captain without having an actual captain.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I understand what Cohen is trying to get to. Did it have to be said that way? Probably not. Now, could the team say, "Oh, he's our captain this year"? Could the team, meaning the players itself? Yeah, sure. But it doesn't necessarily mean that much.
Well, here's the thing, though. Every team has that person who is the leader on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they don't have to have a seat to actually be the captain. I'm quite sure the Mets have a leader on the team. Just because the owner said he's not going to name a captain doesn't mean they don't have a leader on the team. So he just basically say what he wants. Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is, you had different types of leaders.
Yeah.
You had the lead by example type, and you got the guy who's going to motivate you with their words.
Yep.
And there may be a third type of leader, but those are the two main ones that I'm going to focus in on.
Ohtani probably is the one who leads by example. I don't know if he leads by his words. Yeah.
Well, he has his dog well trained.
What?
Well, during the season last year, he did have the first pitch.
Yeah.
Where he had his dog come out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His dog is trained. I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. And came right to him.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. That's funny. He does have a dog trained.
And by the way,
that's funny.
Which will lead to another tangent.
Okay.
Like my Facebook Reels watching, I do at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when I don't feel like going to sleep.
Right.
But I definitely want to lay down in bed or the couch or whatever. I start looking at these things. And now I got these horses coming up on my thing where this woman has this farm somewhere down south because she's got the twang or whatever, the southern accent.
Right.
She's got these baby horses or foals, like days to weeks old, and the mares and all that. You know, that creeped up on my timeline because I think somebody else watching now. Now I can't get rid of that in my algorithm. I'm like, no, I want Rocky Kanaka, and I want those Siberian dogs, Blue and Titan.
Right.
But like, for example, I said today on Facebook, because Blue and Titan right now, they have 6 dogs and 3 cats.
Oh, wow.
Now they have 4 dogs
Okay.
that are theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You got Blue and Titan, who are Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
You have Maverick, who's the woman's service dog.
Okay.
And you have Bauer, who's also a golden retriever. Bauer and Maverick are golden retrievers, but the reason why they got Bauer was, well, Blue and Titan, they bonded.
Mm-hmm.
They figured, well, let's bond the golden retrievers.
Right.
Okay. And then they had 2 cats because they were bonded, but one disappeared.
Okay.
So they go, and they were going to adopt a cat so they can have a new bond with a new cat. Instead, they adopted a pair of cats because they were already bonded.
Right.
Pair of kittens. So now they have 4 dogs and 3 cats. Then they get a call from a rescue that these 2 chocolate colored dogs
Right.
were about to be slaughtered, put to sleep, whatever.
Uh-huh.
They said, don't worry, we'll take them. So now they have 6 dogs,
Wow.
but they're just fostering those dogs apparently,
Okay.
which means they may end up, but they had a third husky that they were fostering. Only popped up like a couple of times in videos and nothing after that. So, but enough about that. So, but the way that he worded this, it was just, as long as I'm owning the team, there will never be a team captain. That was my decision. My view is the locker room is unique. Let the locker room sort it out year in, year out. Okay, well, that's fine. Because I think in a way, well, for example, the captains in football, which, they just basically just go out for the coin toss, whatever.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Or they just get a patch, would
Right.
be, really, I think the NFL, they actually vote on their captains, the players do.
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
At least in college, that's the case.
Okay.
But, I think that you can pretty much determine, you can see right away who's the leaders, who's the teammates that are followers,
That's
or
true.
whatever. So, but there were 4 official captains. Keith Hernandez was first given that designation in '87.
Okay. Gary
Carter, John Franco, and David Wright followed,
Okay.
with that position vacant since Wright retired in 2018. Now, Cohen said today that he's always believed naming a captain was unnecessary since he purchased the Mets. Now, here's a point that he makes that actually makes sense for once. Actually, having a captain in baseball doesn't happen often. It's actually unusual. So whatever previous ownership did, that was their way of doing things. I look at things differently. So you have some parts here where it's like, arrogant asshole.
Right.
You have some where it's like,
Right.
yeah, he makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't even know if the Phillies had any captains. I'm not even going to look it up on there. But, you knew who were the team leaders on the team, whether it's on the field leaders or clubhouse leaders. Like, for example, we all knew Darren Dalton was the leader in the clubhouse. In 93,
definitely.
for example.
Most definitely. Yeah. Dutch was the yes. He was the leader.
But, some lead on the field, some lead in the clubhouse, and you get the rare case of somebody having both.
I think J-Roll was the captain from the seventh inning on, but between the
Yeah.
first and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've said this so many times
Yeah.
to people. I think I mentioned it. I mean, not even been on the show, but like just in random conversation with somebody.
Mhm.
I would get grilled on Twitter, aka X, all the time because I'd take a shot at Jimmy Rollins. Oh, you just don't like Jimmy Rollins, or yeah. Let's just see it as it is. The MVP was the worst thing that happened to him because guess what?
Yeah.
And we've sat there on Sundays and saw him not hustle.
Yes,
There was one play where Chase Utley?
Yeah, that's Chase Utley's cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Chase Utley.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to call my shot now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get the call to the Hall next year.
Cool.
Whereas Jimmy Rollins. But seriously, I mean, you have a weak first year class coming in next year. So if Utley doesn't get in next year, he doesn't get in.
Okay.
But I remember one play distinctly. There was a ball which is now called Monty's angle that kind of got away from the center fielder, and we knew how Chase Utley always hustled.
Always.
And he probably would have had an inside the park home run if he really wanted to. But Jimmy Rollins dogged it from second base and almost got called out on a triple from Chase Utley at the plate because he dogged it.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, you just don't like Jimmy Rollins. It's not that I don't like him. I've actually seen something at the game that you may not have seen watching at home. Because sometimes when you're at the game, you see something there that you don't see
That's true.
on TV.
We've seen it at the game.
But of course, people won't, oh, he won an MVP. He won a World Series. Yeah, but let's talk about a Tuesday in May where he decided, I don't feel like running.
And like you said, the contrast, I can't remember a time when Chase Utley didn't hustle. Even going from, home to first with a ground ball. He's always hustling.
Yeah, and there was also one thing I saw within the last week or so. Let me find this here. Coaches. I know he's on the lower level here. Why is that on the list? Damn it. Who was the guy that with the Mets that Chase Utley broke his leg on a play at second base, which led to the pansy second base rule?
Oh, who was that?
I gotta look it up.
I don't know who that was.
Ruben Tejada.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, actually, he was in the Phillies organization in 2021. He signed a minor league contract, played 72 games for Lehigh Valley, 231, and then was released. But the reason why I'm looking is I believe he got called. I think he got hired by the Phillies.
Tejada?
As a coach.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Here's from the Sporting News. The Phillies hired former New York Mets infielder Ruben Tejada as a position coach for the Florida Complex League Phillies.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he's in the Phillies organization now.
Okay.
Can you imagine if he makes it as a coach all the way to the majors and Chase Utley's in down? Because I doubt that there's any forgiveness involved. But yeah, so, but the Mets, Cohen enters his 6th year as the ownership without a championship, and they got they changed a lot of things up this year, and I don't think they're really going to do much this year. But
they're a mess, like you said. They're a mess. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know how you guys out there watching feel about the captain tag in baseball, but I mean, other than being a leader on the team, you don't really need that captaincy. You don't need that title. And this has come from a guy that, since I'm the horse racing expert, I even said to AJ, I'll take the tag, but, I'm going to be humble and say, I hate these fucking titles.
Well, it's just like we had said earlier about the leadoff hitter in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Leadoff hitter, because he's the first one after the first inning.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because I specifically asked Anthony Sanfilippo about that.
Mm-hmm.
24.
Okay.
When we're up at our Sunday get together for football.
Uh-huh.
And I said, answer this question for me, baseball related. And if I'm totally wrong, you can tell me. After that first go round of the lineup, does it really matter who leads off in an inning? No. Or however I worded it.
Right.
Because, that's the one argument I had was, aside from that first time around the order or the first inning, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
But so, sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning.
I don't know why either.
But probably because it wasn't 10 hours straight sleep. It was 4, then 3. Then
yeah. Got to build up the sleep. Yeah, at least 5 hours plus.
So, I saw this today, and this is from Pete Thamel on ESPN and Jeff Borzello. Kansas State fired men's coach Jerome Tang today. Tang Orange Juice has a longer shelf life than he did. But up bump. Now, he got fired for cause today.
Oh?
They announced it Sunday night.
Right.
I saw it today.
Okay.
So the Wildcats have only won one game in the Big 12 this year. That's not the cause.
Right.
He lashed out at his players following a blowout home loss to Cincinnati on Wednesday. Let me see if I can find that on YouTube. Rant. I apologize. This is really professional, by the way. Okay, so this is 2.5 minutes. Let's hope this is exactly what we want. I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. We're there on the bottom. So I'll do that. And we'll do that. And we may not hear the question, but we'll hear the evidence here.
Hey, I'm gonna honor Christ like I always do. Blessed to do this, but this was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. Like I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. So y'all got 2 questions. So whoever want to ask 2 questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, like I'm like pissed, and this is all right. Questions.
I guess it just kind of comes with puzzling. If you look at your road and home splits, the last 4 road games have been down the wire, you run off the court. Just kind of explain that.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked the staff this week that same question, and you know, they said that, you know, more the opponents. You know, you play, I don't know, like you know, because I mean, I followed Minnesota last year closely, and they played great on the road and struggled at home. So then they started staying in hotels at home, like treating it like a road game. And so I even talked about, hey, do we need to change that change? But like, no, none of that crap matter, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Our like everything this university is about and all that it's been about. Why I love this place, man. Like they don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here.
Just what did you make of the student section with paper bags on their heads?
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
That's because I muted the microphone because I wanted people to hear that even after the fact. And by the way, that was from the Big 12 conference or whoever I got that from on YouTube. But credit to whoever that belongs to, you know, even though it's not the professional way of doing it, you're getting credit for doing the work there. Now, I'll ask you this before I tell you where the violation for cause was. Without knowing what's in his contract, is that grounds for firing?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, because I look at it, and like we said, it may be motivation, it may be just saying his feelings and stuff like that. But you know, and the thing they did, which may have led to this as well, I think they played on Saturday. Let me double check that here real quick. Yeah, they played at Houston on Saturday and they lost. Okay. He took the names off the jerseys.
He took their names off the.
Mm-hmm. So he did that as well. Now, I don't fire this guy for cause, just on that.
Right.
But I would remind me, you know, you're bashing the university here, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, and I understand why he's doing it, but, you know, and the one thing we heard about the last question was about how you feel about the bags, the fans wearing bags over their heads. That might have been the final straw with what I'm about to mention, but
Okay.
you know, but the thing is, you know, your first year, you're this close to the Final Four, and then everything's going downhill since. So probably Kansas State is looking to get rid of him anyway, and you just grease the tracks a little bit more, where it's like, okay, bye. And also, you're not getting paid now.
Nope.
because the basis for the cause firing, according to sources telling ESPN, is language in his contract that references any activity that brings public disrepute, embarrassment, ridicule to Kansas State. So just his team playing did it? Oh.
Well, here's the other thing. Usually when a coach and the team playing bad, like the Andy Reid thing, they gotta do better. I gotta do better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gotta do better. They gotta do better.
Yeah.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Time is yours. He didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he threw his team under the bus.
Uh-huh.
So, and the bus said, okay, well, you threw the team, there you go right there. You're out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I understand why they did it. You know, it is what it is.
He could have said, you know what, even if he would have added, they play horrible, I coach horrible, we all have a blame in this, we're all going to do better. That's, you putting yourself with the team because you're the coach of the team and you're leading by example. You just don't sit back there, and put your team out there and just, no. So
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, the one thing is, we don't know if he's had any other rants during the season. Now, since you're at this point of year where you're near the end of the season, and unless you win 4 or 5 games in the Big 12 tournament, however many it is, even if you qualify for the Big 12 tournament, because I don't know if all 18 teams or ever many teams make the conference tournament or not. Could the athletic director or anybody above him say, remember your contract here? Remember that clause? Could they have done that?
Possible.
But I just think that, I think that you have to realize that, it's in the heat of the moment. And I don't think he's worried about what is being said. I mean, he's not worried about what his contract says. Now, I guarantee you, it's a possibility that he didn't read one section other than 5 years, 20 million, or whatever.
Right.
I'm sure his agent, lawyer, whoever did. But my question is, and we'll never know this, did someone say, hey, this clause, they can fire you for that?
Counter argument. Every sport, with every player signing a contract, has a morals clause. Whether it's professional, whether it's private, all businesses have a morals clause. If you break that clause, and we are, we can attest to that. Every team has that. Every team has that clause. Now, whether his agent told him, I don't tell him, every team has that. But I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. Don't ever throw your team under a bus. That's coaching 101.
All right. Now, you remember John McKay?
Yeah, I remember him.
He was coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep, the worst team in 1976 or 74, whichever they 76.
Well, they ended up losing like 20-some in a row. They almost lost 2 years in a row.
Yep. Even though he played in sunny Florida.
I hope this is what's going to lead to the point that I made here.
Okay.
And I'll say, can you imagine him saying that today?
Okay.
Hopefully the words that I'm looking for are here. Whoops. Hold on. And I'm going to mute the microphone so that those that are going to be watching even after
and this project's going to cost me quite a bit of money. That was the worst officiated football game in the history of the world.
We can't stop a pass or a run. Otherwise, we're in great shape. We've now proven we can't play on the road or in front of our own crowd. So we would like to have a neutral site.
Might be a lot of sacks.
Well, we didn't block him, no. But we made up for it by not tackling.
He is the most accurate passer there is in football. If you give him his time, we gave him time enough to eat a sandwich, then have a salad and a pie a la mode before we got to him.
And you're going to hustle. That's all right. You had to catch his mitt, you had to cut it.
Was there any strategy with throwing short passes yesterday instead of long passes?
The strategy, I think, was that if he waited any longer, he might have got killed.
There are a hell of a lot of careers going in Monday. Put down, I'll change this drill. Okay? This looks like a fire drill in a third grade school. I've seen bad football teams. This is the worst I've ever seen.
It bothers me that they have picked us to be the worst team in football. Now, this hurts me. Second worst team, I could stand it, but not the worst team.
Actually, I need to put the microphone back on again. So I know one guy that actually did say this, and this is from 2021.
Okay.
Some former coach, Brian Kelly, who I confused with Chip Kelly when Chip Kelly got signed by you. I was like, oh, we got the Notre Dame guy. Oh, no, we got the Oregon guy. But here was Brian Kelly. I don't know if this was I think this was halftime, but this is what he had to say. And this is what I was looking for John McKay, because he's the originator.
Okay.
This game had it all.
Yeah.
What did you think of your team's ability to withstand Florida State's impressive comeback?
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
Now, I was looking for something like that from John McKay, but apparently I didn't look hard enough.
Right.
Oh, wait. Oh, maybe I have it for next week, but yeah. But that's the thing, But the point is, can you imagine John McKay or Brian Kelly having that clause in the contract and being executed against them? No pun intended.
Right, I got you.
So, Kansas State Athletic Director Gene Taylor said that this was a decision that was made in the best interest of our university men's basketball programs. Recent public comments and conduct, in addition to program's overall direction, have not aligned with K-State's standards for supporting student athletes and representing the university. We wish Coach Tang and his family all the best moving forward. So they were looking to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And he just said, all right, well, watch this. Well, guess what? You just cost yourself millions of dollars, buddy.
Yeah.
So he had signed a contract in 2023, an extension through the 29-30 season. There's still $18.67 million remaining on the contract. So he plans to fight the for-cause firing. He said, I'm deeply disappointed with the university's decision and strongly disagree with the characterization of my termination. I've always acted with integrity and faithfully fulfilled my responsibilities as head coach. I mean, could he have, there's that clause in the contract. I keep saying that, but you get the point.
Yeah, but you said something earlier, which probably leaves more credence to what he said. I know reporters have a job to do. So they try to catch everyone during that time. but in the heat of the moment, anything could come out of the players or coach's mouth. Give them a few minutes to kind of just before you interview them. But they said, no, we got to be hot. We got to be, we have to put this on the air. We got to do this. What do you think about that? What do you think about this? You can't do that to them. They're still wrapped up in the game.
Sometimes you do cool down, but we don't know what he was doing between walking off the court and walking in the presser.
We know he was doing. He was upset. He was still upset.
We don't know. Was he screaming at his team for 15 minutes, or we don't know.
We don't know. We know one thing. When he said at the podium, though. Yeah.
So.
I like John McKay's presence, though.
Even though I couldn't find the video.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, he cut you and said, "I'm so sorry I cut you."
But the thing is, we're in a totally different time now.
Here we are.
Oh, you hurt my feelings. What? Proves my point once again that America is soft as diarrhea.
And it's all part of the thing that I think you and I talked about some weeks ago about how NIL is destroying college athletics.
And this isn't even NIL. This is just mouthing off to the media. What happens if you said, "Oh, that that referee's an asshole"?
Well,
other than the league reprimanding him, is he going to get fired because of calling? Probably not, but
probably not.
We get the idea.
Yeah.
So when they lost on Saturday, and I mentioned this, they played the games without player names on the back of the jerseys 3 days after the rampant tank following Cincinnati's loss on Wednesday when that went viral. Those dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There's always very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed the university. You saw that. But, now that we look at it, is it warranted? Yeah.
Yeah.
He did violate something that's in the clause, and it's going to be hard to prove as well because we don't know what the other contracts are like in the athletics department there or any other, it's like, well, did any of these other coaches get reprimanded with, that's in the contract, I'm warning you, or anything like that? But,
Yeah, but he still throws players under the bus, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah. And, well, we know that, like, for example, the old timer is probably Bobby Knight.
Oh, yeah. He could have got away with it.
He wouldn't last a week at a coaching job nowadays if he were alive.
Last a day. You talk about a week, last a day. But his team won.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the coach, because some coaches at that time they could get away with it, and some coaches can't get away with it. Didn't Rick Patel used to be that way at one time?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more along the lines of John Calipari.
Yeah. What was the coach? The Temple's coach, John Chaney.
Well, you're reading my mind because I was trying to beat you to this, as we've all of a sudden turned into YouTube night here.
I watched it several times. Hey.
Whoops, wrong one. Hold on. I will fix it. Hold on.
Okay. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm trying to fix this, all right? Hold on. Let me stop sharing. No, I'm not sharing that. I'm unsharing.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we will share it.
Okay.
But I was also trying to do something else here. But this is what I tried to get by and post before Mike saw it. But he beat me to it by mentioning it. once I mentioned John Calipari. That's not what I want.
That's what she said.
There, that's better.
Okay.
So John Calipari was with UMass at the time. And this might have been the year that Calipari got to the Final Four.
Okay.
But we all know John Chaney had these but he was all set in his ways. But this was from, I shouldn't have done that. Hold on. 1994. So we didn't even have HD TV back then.
Right.
But here was John Chaney.
And you see your kids out there pushing and shoving. The guys did a hell of a job. You had the best officiating you could ever get here. And for you to ride them, I want to be a part of that. I just got my ass blasted for giving them hell down in West Virginia. And here you get a hell of a job right here today. Good job. 3 class guys. And you pick them out here and single them out. You can't get that. You got to never threaten the guys. Shut up, goddamn. You can't never threaten the guys. I'm killing you. You remember that. When I see you, I'm going to kick your ass. Kick your ass. Come on. You got a good team, and you don't need that edge. That's why I was telling my kid to knock your kid in the mouth. Standing there pushing in the game.
Some things never cease to amaze me. I'm not going to say anything right now because I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think it's better that I just walk out of here. And I'm not going to talk on the television. I'm not going to talk to anybody at this point right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggie.
Well, that was the Atlantic 10.
Oh, that's right. That was the
Atlantic 10 back when the Atlantic 10, and I was listening to an old interview from on Preston Steve with the coach that just retired, Fran Delphi.
Okay.
He was on Preston Steve back in April. That's how far back I am on my podcast. So, he said on the Preston Steve show that back in the day, the Atlantic 10 used to get 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 invites to the tournament. Now they're a one bid league. They may be 2 this year because looking at the standings so far this year, St. Louis is 24-1. VCU is 20-6. George Mason is 21-5. Now, we still have an undefeated team in Division I college basketball, right?
No.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'm asking you.
Division I to see. Well, we know it's not Kansas.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It may not be one of the schools that we mentioned, but it is in that conference.
It's not Virginia.
I think I tested you on this a couple of weeks ago.
It's not Utah. It's not the Zags. Oh, wait, it is the Zags.
No.
Uh-oh.
The hint was we talked about this conference already.
Wait, we talked about the Big East Conference. It's not Nova. Wait a minute.
The Ballsack Bowl?
Sacramento State?
No, it's not. It's not the schools that are in the Ballsack Bowl, but it's
Right.
another team that's currently in the MAC.
It's not the Zips. It's not Akron. It's not oh shoot.
They share their school name with an ACC school.
See, that would be Tar Heels, Tigers.
The school name, not the nickname.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm drawing a blank. Thank you. Yeah.
Wait. Wait. That better?
Yes.
Miami.
Really?
Miami of Ohio in the MAC conference is 25-0 right now.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They're number 22 in the country.
And they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm. Now, if they played the Atlantic 10 right now, they'd probably be about 10 or 15 right now. Because, I mean, this is the scenario that St. Joe's had many years ago.
Because St. Joe's was undefeated, but because they didn't play a power conference, they were essentially left out.
But the Atlantic 10 back then was more of a mid-major than the MAC has ever been.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, so we still have one unbeaten team. And, you know, they may make it to the tournament undefeated.
They may.
Probably get in the tournament as like an 8 seed and lose to the 9. That'll mysteriously be like Kentucky or something, an SEC school or something like. You know what I'm getting at.
Or they might make it to the Final Four.
Maybe.
We might have to. We might have to do something with that.
Yeah. So, but So the moral, the one thing, and if we did the things I learned on the show tonight, I know the one thing you learned tonight is the fact that we have a new bowl game called the Ball Sack Bowl.
Yeah, yes, I did.
And if you missed that, watch about 20 minutes into the show. We talk about Sacramento State going to the MAC for football only, which leads to the Ball Sack Bowl when they play Ball State.
That's exactly what that is.
All right, so it's 11 o'clock and perfect timing because we're right at an hour and 59 minutes. So, Mike, thank you once again. And thank you, everybody, for joining me here tonight. And we'll do it. I'll do it live tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Or no, 9 o'clock. Jesus Christ.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And, thank God this is like later in the evening where I got the okay to have the ball sack joke tonight, because I don't think I could get away with a lot of stuff that I'm getting away with on Oswald.
No.
Especially when I have certain groups watching my show, like for example, Commonwealth. But we'll get into that another time. But so that's it for now, and I do appreciate everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'm sure some island in the Atlantic Ocean is 11 o'clock when we're 9 o'clock, I think. But I'll be here.
Okay.
Mike won't be.
No.
Well, he might be at home watching.
Yeah.
And I'll do it live then. I'll do it live Thursday and also eligible on Saturday morning. Only one show this week because it did apparently wipe me the hell out. Have a great night, everybody.